Alright, hello everyone. So, I'm gonna give some praise for New York 1 tonight, and I am going to say that a lot of things are going on with their website this evening because I've been monitoring it all day, and I like to just check in, see what's going on over there in Chelsea. And yes, I'm gonna give where their exact location of their studios are. However, what is going on over there at Spectrum, I have no clue because guess what? They buried a story of a yeshiva that was almost became an arson incident. And I do have the video of that. We're going to watch that later at the very end because the reporter at New York 1 did a fantastic job covering it. They did bring it up in the morning newscast this morning, and I'm going to have to take my phone upstairs. I thought my dad was staying downstairs, so I do apologize about that. But look at this. I'm on the website, and nothing about what happened in Brooklyn. But I do have another video that I'm going to play for you at the end, because I'm going to edit everything in iMovie. Which, again, I just noticed that this phone does a better job with going on with these videos better than, my computer lately, because it just takes longer to get these videos out to you guys. But look at this. Nothing. You have to scroll all the way down just to find that story I was talking about. Very disgraceful, if you ask me. But, however, as usual, there were some other stories that New York 1 didn't get. And that's typical New York 1. We like to forget stories that just don't seem to be important. So, let's see what we got tonight. I think I saw some important stuff. You know what will be important? Let's read this one. Yeah, this is a serious one. New York 1 missed this. Woman in serious condition after being hit by minivan while crossing the street in Brooklyn. A senior woman was said to be seriously injured after she was hit by a car in Brooklyn on October 15th. At around 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the woman in her early to mid-60s was crossing Clarkson Avenue when she was struck by a minivan driver. Witnesses say then the victim hit her head on the pavement, causing her to bleed. The victim was taken to Kings County Hospital in serious but stable condition. There was a video posted on the Citizen app shortly after the incident. At this time, no further details could be confirmed by authorities. But this is where it happened. Oh, that's disturbing. There was definitely blood on the streets. But this was a woman around my mom's age. I mean, that's kind of scary. My mom is in her early 60s. Yikes. Okay, and then I want to read this one. Would-be thief wanted for trying to rob cab driver at knife point in Chinatown. So yes, this is the Chinatown in Manhattan. They don't mention what Chinatown there is because we have Chinatown Flushing and we have Chinatown Sunset Park. So this is the Chinatown in Manhattan. According to police, at 4:30 a.m. on October 4th, an unknown man hailed a cab at 88 East Broadway, yep, that's definitely Manhattan. After instructing a 63-year-old male driver to a location, the suspect, who was in the back seat, pulled out a knife while the cab was in motion and held it at the driver's neck, saying, "Give me your money and you won't get hurt." The driver stopped the cab at the northwest corner of Bayard Street and Bowery and grabbed the knife. A struggle ensued, resulting in the suspect fleeing the vehicle and running southbound on Bayard Street. There was no property taken. The victim suffered minor lacerations to his hands and was taken by paramedics to New York City Health and Hospital's Bellevue, where he was treated and released. So, we have a description of the suspect. from a commercial establishment in the vicinity of Canal and Elridge Street. The suspect is described as a 25-year-old Asian man with short dark hair, a light complexion, and medium build, standing 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighing around 170 pounds. He was last seen wearing a black hooded jacket, black sweatpants, black sneakers, a light-colored backpack, and a black baseball cap. So far, there have been no arrests, ongoing investigation. So there you go. Very disgraceful. So, obviously, I can't get to everything, but I want to get to the important stuff. Obviously, the woman getting hit by the car in Brooklyn and the man getting robbed in Chinatown is something that New York One just doesn't really want to cover. Okay, let's see what's going on in Queens. What's going on in Queens? Let's see. We have anything in Queens? Oh, look at this, a bank rob of identity theft. Well, I don't want to get into that. But I do want to get into something very serious. Very serious that's been going on in Flushing today that New York One ignored. Very disgraceful. Very disgraceful that New York One didn't cover it. So we have a lot of robberies that happened in Flushing today. Let me just scroll down because I know I can find it. Here we go. Yep. Oh, look at this. So much other stuff that happened. I went to the Glen Oaks thing yesterday. Oh, look at this. Suicide attempt in Forest Hills. New York One didn't cover this. Police closed off 63rd Drive by 99th Street after a jumper down. EMS responded to the jumper, was unconscious. This was on top of the building at 99-05 63rd Drive in Forest Hills. So, this should have been something that New York One covered right away. A breaking news story. They should have sent a reporter over to this. No, it got ignored. And then let's talk about the robberies in Flushing. Police reported in 2 nights 6 victims were robbed in Flushing. The first incident was reported on 41st Avenue to 131st Street around 1:45 a.m. on October 14th. Then after 3 a.m., 2 victims were robbed in the vicinity of Main Street and Horace Harding Expressway. Around 6:30 a.m. today, Friday, October 15th, a victim was robbed on 58th Road and 153rd Street. Shortly after, victim on Christina Boulevard and Booth Memorial Avenue. Oh, lovely. So a robbery happened not too far from where Booth Memorial Medical Center is. Lovely. From the report, 2 suspects, males, black, were driving around targeting victims walking alone. Police are looking for a dark sedan with tinted windows. And then more robberies. There was more of an update to it. Police are at 147th Street and 29th Avenue reporting 2 more victims were robbed. The 2 suspects described by police are male. So they're looking for Hispanics that took off with temporary New Jersey license plate. Both victims were not injured but shaken. So there you go, a robbery pattern in Flushing that, again, New York One could have covered. You know what makes this so suspicious? The Queens Courier didn't even cover this. Yeah, we just checked the Queens Courier. It's not even on the website. Nope. Nope. So that's just going to wrap up this video. You know, New York One always, again, sometimes they'll hit the ball running, sometimes they don't. I mean, again, they did a good job covering the arson attempt in Brooklyn. They did cover the girl that was shot in Brooklyn a couple weeks ago. But when it comes to a suicide attempt in Forest Hills, when it comes to a woman getting ran over in Brooklyn, and when it comes to a robbery pattern in Flushing, and when it also comes to a taxi driver who was robbed in Chinatown, stories that this New York One has ignored once again. So, I'm going to play the 2 videos I took from New York One's website regarding the arson fire and the girl that was shot in Brooklyn. So, thank you for watching.
The NYPD is looking for the woman suspected of starting a fire outside of a yeshiva in Brooklyn last night. This incident comes as the NYPD is reporting a sharp rise in anti-Semitic hate crimes around the city. Look at the latest numbers from the police department. So far this year, there have been 147 hate crimes targeting Jews in the city. That is a 50% increase from all of last year when there were 98 incidents that were determined to be hate crimes. Alyssa Policelli is getting reaction from outside of the yeshiva in Flatbush this morning. Alyssa.
Well, Annika, despite the attempt to burn down the high school here at the yeshiva at Flatbush, it's business as usual this morning. The school does have private security outside of the school grounds, but they say that is nothing out of the ordinary that they have private security here every single day for drop-off and for pickup. But the NYPD's Hate Crime Task Force, they are investigating this latest incident and are searching for this woman that you see in this surveillance video. She was caught in this photo carrying a canister full of gasoline. Police say around 7:30 last night, she emptied that gasoline around the school grounds and then lit that fuel on fire. Luckily, there was a security guard working inside the school at the time. He was able to spot the minor fire that did grow from that gasoline being lit, and he was able to put it out with water. No significant damage. Luckily, nobody was injured in this fire. The fire department did respond, but by the time they got here, the fire was already out, and all they had to do was just hose away the remaining gasoline left on the sidewalk. We spoke with one man who says he's lived in this community for decades. He says he remembers when the school was being built, and he says he is shocked that someone would try to burn down a school for children.
She was sick. She was sick. She was demented. She had hatred, undoubtedly. I can't explain her actions. It's a frightening thing that happens in this neighborhood, or in any neighborhood.
We'll give you another look at the woman the police are still searching for. They say she was last seen wearing the dark clothing that you see in this video and that she fled the scene on foot. Police are asking if you have any information about this incident, if you recognize the woman in that video, in those photos, that you contact the NYPD's Crime Stoppers hotline at 1-800-577-8477. Annika?
Okay, Alyssa, thank you for that update.
Kyla Sobers left the hospital with balloons, prepared to celebrate her 17th birthday on Saturday. Just 2 weeks ago, her mother did not think she'd see that birthday.
That was a real possibility at the beginning of the situation with her. Because no parents really want to ever think that their child is possibility that the child could pass away before they do.
On October 1st, Sobers was in a Borum Hill park after school let out around 3 in the afternoon when a stray bullet hit her in the head. Police say 3 male suspects were caught on surveillance video fleeing the scene. Kyla was taken to the hospital and had surgery to remove the bullet fragments.
It's really a shocking experience. I would never expect this to happen, but, things do happen, but it's not going to change the person that I am.
We spoke to her on Zoom Friday while she was on the way to check into a rehabilitation clinic.
So at times it was very frustrating because it was like, one day I was up doing everything on my own, and then the next day I needed help to do certain things that I could have done on my own. So it was very challenging at times. At times I wanted to give up, but I didn't.
According to the NYPD, the number of shooting victims under 18 doubled this year compared to the same time period in 2019.
And in terms of gun violence in the city, what do you hope changes?
I hope that, it's a little more controlled, and that the people that are doing this, I hope they think about their actions too, and how the certain things they do affect people.
We as a people need to truly think about the things we do to each other, because you can't solve the situation. The first thing you pick up is a weapon to kill somebody.
Sobers says she's going to survive and thrive, now knowing what she's capable of, and she hopes that others will be inspired by her strength.
It just showed me that I gotta keep on fighting, and that to never give up, and always have faith in myself, and don't let anything negative ever stop me.
Police are still looking for those 3 suspects, and Kyla says she has a long road to recovery, but she's ready to get back to her senior year of high school. In Park Slope, Victoria Manna, New York 1.